This war may already look explosive, missiles, drones, bases under fire. But what if everything we've seen so far is just the opening act? Because new reports suggest that Iran is still holding back, deliberately. That behind the strikes and retaliation lies a much larger, largely untouched arsenal. Weapons that haven't been fully deployed, capabilities that haven't been tested at scale, and a strategy that may be designed not to end the war, but to stretch it before unleashing something far more devastating. What's keeping Western planners awake right now isn't just what Iran has used, it's what it hasn't. Because intelligence assessments suggest Tehran still possesses advanced ballistic systems, heavier warheads, and long-range strike options that have not yet entered full combat use. This is not restraint out of weakness. This is controlled escalation, a signal to both United States and Israel that the current phase of war may be calibrated and reversible. But the next phase, that could look very different. Take the missiles. Iran has already begun introducing systems like the Hajj Qassem and the heavier Khorramshahr variants. Weapons designed not just for impact, but for saturation. But analysts believe these systems have not yet been used at full intensity. And then comes the biggest shock. Reports of a strike or targeting linked to the US-UK base at Diego Garcia, nearly 4,000 kilometers away. If that range is operational, it doesn't just extend Iran's reach. It redraws the map of this war entirely. But this isn't just about missiles flying across borders. Iran's real strength has always been layered warfare, the ability to stretch a conflict across multiple fronts at once. And that's where the bigger fear kicks in, the possible activation of allies like the Houthis in Yemen, threatening shipping lanes, targeting energy routes, and opening a second front in the Red Sea. At the same time, militias across the region remain on standby, meaning this war doesn't expand gradually, it multiplies. And then comes the most unpredictable element, one that rarely shows up on maps or radar screens: sleeper networks. Western intelligence fears that Iran-linked operatives outside the Middle East could be activated if the conflict escalates further. Not necessarily as large-scale attacks, but as precise, deniable disruptions. Suddenly, this is no longer a regional war between states. It becomes a distributed conflict, where geography no longer limits escalation. So what we're looking at right now may not be peak escalation. It may be positioning, a phase where Iran absorbs, signals, calibrates, and waits. Because by holding back key capabilities, Tehran retains something far more powerful than immediate destruction: uncertainty. A message to Washington, to Tel Aviv, that the most dangerous part of this war may not be what has already happened, but what is still being held in reserve. And if that reserve is ever fully unleashed, this conflict doesn't just intensify, it transforms.